Hi guys, it's Rampant FM, and today we continue our Cowdenbeath Let's Play. We are going to do a transfer / club update, things that I don't really normally show you on in the episodes. We'll start with Mark Clarkson. We signed him on a pre-contract from Dundee United. He was actually better than I expected. He is pretty much first team over Kerr Waddle. David Buchanan, we obviously had him on loan from Man City last season, a very, very decent player. He looks like he will be an absolute gem in the future. Fraser Hornby, another decent signing. I'm pretty glad that we got him, to be honest. He's looking really awesome, especially with Mikey Johnson playing in that sort of attacking mid role. He's pretty good on the left. Tony Gallagher, not as good as I thought he would be, having not played too much for Falkirk. He's obviously at Liverpool in real life. The big signing, obviously, Greg Taylor. Wanted him for a while. He finally came. We just paid under $1 million for him. He really did want away from Kelly, but he was well worth the money. Obviously, I did give Cowdenbeath a bit of money, but it was mainly for improvements and stuff, club improvements. Donald Love, a very good sort of backup to Buchanan, but certainly he could be a first teamer in the future. Yeah, and O'Keefe. The reason I signed him, you'll find out. Very decent sort of youth prospect. He is going to be pretty much a backup for us in the midfield area. So we'll go through our loanies. Most of them you have probably heard of or seen play for us. A lot of them are kind of regens, so I won't go into too much detail. Ewan was obviously on loan to Borough Rangers, our affiliate last season. Pretty decent player. And then there's others that were pretty much in the series and they didn't really get a chance for us, so I've kind of loaned them out, hoping that they can make the jump. There's obviously a few big names in there that you probably have heard of, but they're just not up to that SPL quality, due to age and whatnot. I'm really looking forward to seeing how particularly Colin Bates gets on. He was a youth academy product, or youth intake product, last season. Obviously James Scott, I'm interested to see how he gets on. Larin Jara, that is exactly why I got O'Keefe, because I was actually going to keep Larin Jara, but I believe it was St Mirren offered to take him out on loan, and I couldn't turn that down given that he might be a star, and he's certainly not been first team for us as such. He's had a few games here and there, but he's not exactly been first team. He's played in the cup competitions and you have seen him in episodes, but yeah, he needs time to progress. There's a few other ones, but Colin Bates and James Scott are the ones that I'm really interested in. And I'm not going to be going over absolutely everything because you guys can pretty much see on this screen. Yeah, Lewis Strapp and obviously Jamie Brandon, you probably know more about these guys because they played, but they're not going to get much of a game sadly this season, considering the players we've brought in, especially the left back position. Yeah, they just need to improve. They're not quite up to the standard of SPL yet, but they're still young. That's the good thing, they're still young. We're just going to see how they do. There's a couple of them that obviously, like Johnny Mitchell, who's not featured from some time. We did loan him out last season. Ryan Ingalls as well. He's was obviously been there and thereabouts in the squad, but he's not. He's actually really doing well. Apparently, he's improving. They just need first team guys. That's all it is. They need first team to really see what they're going to be like. Hopefully, they can come in next season and do a job for us. It is possible that they can be recalled. I'll leave that in the contracts. Also, put basically a clause that they can play from under 20s too, so they get as much game time as possible, which I like about in the Scottish football. You can actually put a clause in there. There's a couple of guys that are just, I don't think they're going to really amount to anything, but they obviously got loaned out, so they're here. Larin Jara, obviously, I think he'll be good, I really do, but he just needs game time. He's obviously only a handful of games throughout the seasons. We'll look at staff next, and you'll notice that we are the best in the league. That is not down to quality, let me tell you, that is down to numbers. I have begged and begged every possibility to get the coaches up, because when I'm a lower league team, I like doing that. I need to have as many coaches as possible. Gavin Strachan, really decent assistant manager. As I said, he's not sort of Steve Nicol class. You'll notice there is a bit of a trend in certain respects. I do like going with actual people, such as Scott McDonald, the former Celtic player, Lee Wallace, the former Rangers player. I do like using former players and actual staff rather than sort of made up people, if you will. There's also another trend, working with youngsters. I think that's obviously hugely important, because we do have a young team, and sounded a bit severe there. Any Scottish people will know that means something different in Scotland. No, Lee McCulloch, obviously. Some of them, these guys could actually be managers. We did lose, obviously, Steve Nicol, our assistant manager. Yeah, so these guys can be managers. Some have actually had manager experience in Scotland before, such as Lee McCulloch. But yeah, as I said, I'm not going to go over too much because you guys can pretty much see it. But I'm quite happy with the coaching staff I have. I'm glad the board have allowed me so much. It does really help progress with players if you can add that bit of extra to your coaching staff. We did actually start with a reasonable. Obviously, when I first started to save, I did set up players like I set up the likes of Brian McClure, our head of youth development, and we've obviously lost people as well, like Steve Nicol. But yeah, looking really good as a club. We have wealth of experience in terms of Scottish football. You'll notice, obviously, you would have noticed rather, there's a few things that I go with. Obviously, working with youth is a big thing because I'm using sort of youth players. I also go, depending on my scouts, obviously, I go with sort of potential ability. Assistant manager, always look for tactical knowledge, which Gavin Strachan has 14. I think that's higher than Steve Nichol's. And the reason being is because I don't like I want him to know the opposition instructions. I want him to know certain things that just another perspective, really. Yeah, that's all it is. There's certain things that I go for in staff members. It's harder at this level because you don't really get the quality due to your club's reputation. If you're a Rangers or Celtic, it's a completely different case. But yeah, good. As for the team report, the only worry is really in goals. If Robbie McGrory got injured, we're kind of playing a youth player there. It's good to see people like Jamie Baronis and some of the other guys coming in to be like influential players. I really like that. The only negative things is obviously the guys that are coming in don't really know me as a manager, so that's why you might see a few negatives. But other than that, the team's looking fantastic. We've signed reasonable players. We're just going to have a look at their happiness. So yeah, there is a slight concern from Kerwado. I believe it was due to Clarkson getting signed, and that's obvious because he is pretty much turned into a first teamer. We have had a word with him and saying that he will get his chance. Yeah, I think I stated that Wesley Sneijder is retiring as well. We'll have a wee look at that. Yeah. It's not a massive loss. He's still good. He's still good for this level. Obviously, his physicals have deteriorated because of his age, and he's friends with Van der Vaart. I love Van der Vaart. I had to show that. That's it, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed it. I will not be getting Raphael van der Vaart as a director of football. I don't tend to go with them. But yeah, he's a Spurs legend. I love him to bits. Hopefully these guys enjoyed the episode. Obviously it's a bit more behind the scenes. We would have looked at other stuff, but I think that was the key important stuff, obviously the transfers. If you want to look at other things, just let me know and I can add it to an episode. Appreciate the support as always. I'll see you soon.